Hello and welcome to the Voice of Todd. I'm Tom, and in this video we're going to look at WandaVision Season 1 Episode 2. This is sort of following on from the last video, I guess, but we are hot off the heels of Episode 1 and we are going straight into, as I say, Episode 2 to continue this season premiere of the show. Again, there will be spoilers in this episode. If you haven't seen it, now is the time to dip out and watch it. It's well worth it just for Bettany, but we will get onto that in a moment. So on to the overview. This was a slightly longer episode and there was a lot more going on than the first, so let's jump straight in. After a prolonged previously on that recaps pretty much all of episode 1, we get into the episode with Wanda and Vision asleep in separate beds. There's a bang outside and it wakes Wanda up, who then proceeds to use her magic to turn the light on and off, and on and off, and on and off, which wakes Vision up, who then turns the light on because she's turned the light off. It's that, I'm going to say it again, 60s sitcom style comedy that it was cutesy and fun in the first episode. It gets a bit old for me in this one, but anyway, Vision gets out of bed, he takes a look outside the window to see what's going on, and there's another bang. Vision whimpers off into his own bed, and another bang means that Wanda pulls the two beds together, and she basically mans up here and uses her magic to open the curtains, and they see there's a tree branch banging on the window. It's a pathetic scene, but it works with the vibe. But obviously banging branches on windows gets Vision all excited as Wanda turns the two single beds that are now together into one big double, and I don't need to tell you the rest. Or I shouldn't need to tell you the rest. We then get the new intro. This episode is pretty much all in black and white again. Follows, as I said, the 60s sitcom style. There's candid laughter everywhere, and it's the same kind of dialogue from episode 1. But the new intro itself is cartoony. It's Wanda and Vision in a very Bewitched style opening, which again works with the feel of the show that they're going for. We then cut to the episode proper, and Vision, dressed up for his magic show at the talent contest, is practicing his lines and his magic tricks. Wanda comes in pretty much on cue with a magic closet, and Vision makes her disappear, but not using actual magic. It's one of the magic cupboards with a revolving piece of wood in the back. We get a bit of dialogue between them. It's the same tongue-in-cheek. Same as last episode, really. It's full of canned laughter. I have no idea why canned laughter was such a thing. It's bloody horrible. But there is a moment in the conversation that and I might be looking too much into this, but I think stands out. Wanda says to Vision, "This is our life now. I want us to fit in." Could be nothing, but it seemed to be a moment of levity in the conversation. Could be playing into the wider story. Who knows? I'm kind of clutching at straws on this one, I know, but we will see. Vision heads off to a neighbourhood watch meeting, and we're left with Wanda in the house. There's another bang outside. She heads out and finds a toy helicopter in the bushes. It has the sword logo that was on the equipment that we saw last episode at the end, and this helicopter is in perfect colour. The rest of the world and Wanda herself is black and white. I don't know if this is anything into it, but the colours are red and yellow, almost like the Iron Man colours. Maybe it's a nod to that, who knows, but it's definitely very strange. But Agnes appears out of nowhere. She doesn't seem to notice the helicopter at all, which is strange in itself. But she offers her pet rabbit for the magic show. Again, in their dialogue, there's lots of canned laughter. It's very jokey. Really started to grate on me. That's probably just me. I do have fond memories of this kind of show. That doesn't mean I want to watch them now as an adult, but it sort of works. But her and Wanda Agnes and Wanda, head to a meeting about the talent contest with the other local wives. One of these is Dottie, who's played by Emma Caulfield Ford, or Anya, if you've ever seen Buffy, which you should have done because it's good. She's the queen of the suburbs and seems to be the main woman who organises everything to do with the area that they live in. She's full of her own importance. She's quite hoity-toity. She's bloody irritating. She plays the part well. It makes sense. It does work. But again, it's quite a stereotypical character. We also, at this meeting, meet Geraldine. Now, Geraldine is played by Teyonah Parris, who openly says she doesn't know why she's here. That's probably because, according to IMDb, she's somebody else. I'm not going to tell you, you can look that up yourselves, but it is quite interesting. But we move on. As part of this meeting, the local area has it's like a cultish rally cry for this talent show of For the Children, which is spoken about 12 times this episode. Any excuse to say it, they seem to be saying it. But that will play in later, I think. But it's a typical, like a wives meeting that you expect in a show like this. Nothing really interesting outside of meeting, what's her real name in this? Geraldine. I'll say Geraldine. But then we hop over to the public library and Vision forces his way into the neighbourhood watch meeting, which seems to just be all the husbands getting together. There is a joke in here about Vision not eating food, and he tries to back out of that. I think it's more meant as a joke, but it does play into the moment when he is offered chewing gum by, I think it was Herb, one of the characters that we've seen before, which he takes and accidentally swallows. We then get a cartoon of the chewing gum gumming up Vision's stomach gears. Yeah. Back to Wanda and Dottie. They're now on their own. Where the meeting was, everyone has left and Wanda's cleaning up. They don't really get along, these two. The conversation turns a little bit standoffish, and Dottie says that she knows about Wanda and her husband. Before we get any more of that, the radio that's playing in the background goes a little bit wonky. We get a bit of static, and a message comes through saying, Wanda, can you read me over? I did Google this. That message is from Jimmy Woo, who is played by Randall Park. He was in Ant-Man and the Wasp. He's a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. So that's quite interesting. But Wanda hears this, and so does Dottie, who starts to freak out, turns to Wanda and asks, who are you? And then the radio kicks in again with Wanda, who's doing this to you, Wanda? Again, Jimmy Woo. But the speaker blows in the radio, and that causes Dottie to crush the glass that she's holding in her hand. Now, the blood is bright red against the black and white world. Again, no other colour, it's like a scene from Sin City. Wanda covers the wound with a white cloth, and Dottie seems to have snapped out of the weird trance that she had when the radio sent out weird messages, and seems to be a nicer person as she walks off to clean up. I think there's something there. We'll touch on that later. But now it's advert time. Last episode was a Stark Industries toaster. Now we get a very nice watch that every man needs, the Strucker. Remember Baron von Strucker from the films? You also get the nice Hydra logo telling you how water resistant the watch is. But back onto the show, and we are waiting for Vision to appear at the talent show. Wanda's freaking out a little bit, but it's fine because Vision shows up and he's drunk. Well, he's not drunk, but he's acting drunk. Wanda tries to tell Vision about the message, but both of them are thrown onto the stage by Geraldine, and their show starts. I'm not going to go into the details of the show. It's really, really funny. It's like comedy magic act with a drunk Paul Bettany. It's one of the funniest things I've seen in a while, and Paul Bettany is just amazing. I loved him in this. He was to stand out in the last episode, and this whole scene just is so good. It's well worth watching just for this scene. But as we get to the grand finale, it's magic cabinet time and time to make someone disappear. Vision is going to make Wanda disappear, obviously. But we get Agnes shouting something out from the crowd. Now, this might just be that old sitcom trope of neighbour's wife has a terrible, useless husband. I think it could be more than that. I actually think that Agnes there's something going on there. She seems to just be appearing too often at certain times to not be of importance. And we haven't seen her husband yet. Now, her husband, I can't remember what name she gave him, I think it was Fred. But with everybody else at the talent show, everybody that we've seen in the show so far here at the talent show, why isn't her husband there? That struck to me as being a little odd. I might be wrong. Again, I'm clutching at straws. Who knows? But anyway, Vision shuts the cabinet with Wanda outside. Wanda points that out to Vision. There is a chant of "What's in the box" that goes round, and Wanda does a little magic, and Geraldine appears by magic. Everybody goes wild. At the end of the show, Wanda and Vision think they've messed up, so backstage, Wanda pulls the chewing gum out of Vision's stomach magically. We get a little shot of the cartoon insides, and just, it's a stupid plot hole. But anyway, they think that they've messed up the talent show, so they try to sneak off, but Dottie sees them and calls them over and gives them an award for being the best comedy act at the show. Seems like at the end everything's fine again. Very weird. But back home, Wanda and Vision are celebrating. They both hit the sofa. Wanda says the cult prayer line of "for the children" and gets up to make popcorn, at which point Vision notices that she is pregnant. Maybe, well, she's showing, so she's a little bit along. This is out the blue. I did watch it the second time very closely to see if there's any signs of this throughout the episode. I don't think that there is. I think it's just the costumes. But she's clearly pregnant. She looks down and asks Vision if it's real, to which he replies yes, and we get a bang outside again. Both of them head out, then the manhole cover in the middle of the street is moving, and out steps a guy dressed in a beekeeper's suit with the sword logo on his back, and there's a load of bees flying around his head, which would be odd anyway. But he looks straight at Wanda, and Wanda clearly knows who this is. She says no, and magically rewinds the episode until she finds out that she's pregnant. At which point Vision and Wanda kiss, having no recollection of the beekeeper or going outside, and suddenly Vision's face is in Technicolor. And the room is then filled with colour, and we've progressed from black and white 60s sitcom to full Technicolor 70s sitcom. We kiss again, obviously in full colour, And we get the outro border, which creates the diamond around the two of them, as the message from Jimmy Woo kicks in again, and this time much clearer to hear, and the episode ends. I do like this show. I did get bored of the canned laughter, the dialogue in the episode as well. It really started to grate on me. I think the chewing gum plot with Vision and it breaking him and making him drunk and hilarious, while I really enjoyed that side of him, I think it's a stupid idea. It's just, again, it makes Vision out to be totally useless. Maybe that's what they're going for with this show. Who knows? But I can get past that. Because Paul Bettany, again, the standout for me as Drunk Vision, is amazing, and I would happily take more. Or just watch that scene on repeat, because it was brilliant. Really good comedy. But overall, I did like the episode. It does enough to keep you entertained. It does throw a lot more mystery in this. It's quite wacky and chaotic, much more than the first. There's so much going on, and the chemistry with Olsen and Bettany is fantastic. I really do like them together. I think they're a good pairing. And totally buy their relationship. I did in the MCU in the films, and I do here, so that's good. But on to the mysteries. Theory time, folks, and I'd love to know what you think, but I think that this is further evidence that we're trapped in Wanda's head, and she's all making it up. The radio message, it's from somebody that we know in the MCU. We haven't seen them pop up in this, we've just heard their voice, but that's clearly someone trying to help Wanda. The fact that Dottie heard the message is interesting. I think that she maybe isn't a full construct of Wanda's imagination. Maybe there's something going on with her. She's going to become an interesting part in the season. Hopefully we'll see more of her. I have a feeling that we will. I have this feeling about Agnes as well. She's always turning up when Wanda's starting to freak out or something happens that puts her on edge. It's almost like she's the calming influence to keep her in the state of vision, the trance, whatever's going on with her. It seems a little weird. Again, for me, outside of Drunk Vision, he seems a bit wasted. Like I said in the last video, I think that there's a reason for that. I think that we're playing into how she maybe wanted Vision, or she's not remembering everything that happened, or there's something going on that's making him a little bit dopey. I'd like to think anyway. The inclusion of Teyonah Parris' character is interesting. That does give us more of an idea of when this time frame is and when the show's set in the outside world, in the bigger MCU. And it adds a lot of questions, which at this point I think is quite a good thing. But yeah, I think there's a lot of questions here. I think there's enough here to keep us guessing over the next week, and come back next Friday for episode 3. The show definitely has potential. I think the casting overall is very good. I'm still very interested. I'm quite surprised by how much I'm into this. I wouldn't say I'm interested in the MCU again, but I would like to know what's going on here. As much as I like doing these videos, I do also like to hear from you guys. Let me know what I missed about the episode in the comments. If you know any of the Marvel lore, do let me know. We can do some theory crafting together. Hopefully you enjoyed this one, and please do hit that subscribe button if you did, for more videos, more content coming very soon. Every week we're doing an Expanse review. Got a few more episodes left in that season. Next week we'll be back on Friday with WandaVision episode 3. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.